Hello, everyone. So we kind of just finished up the trading day, and I took I took three entries. Two of them were break-even trades, and then I had just one win. It's funny, for my first break-even trade, I literally got stopped out to the tick, and it didn't even go one tick higher, and then just continued to keep on going down. But that's just how the market be sometimes. So the first trade I took, it was right around here. So I took shorts around here, and I'll tell you exactly as to why. So the first thing I saw when I opened up my charts this morning was that, first of all, there's low volume node here. Second of all, we were coming into this 144 retracement area. As you can see, I do have boxes drawn here, and I will kind of go over that. So with the retracement into this level, which is right here, you can see that, I'll get rid of this box. We can see that we made a low, and we have a high here. I'll draw it out for you, right there and right there. Then within this zone, we make a tiny high and a tiny low, and we are able to get a confirmed close outside both zones right here. So now you just kind of wait for price to kind of come back into that zone area. And then, like on this candle close here, you can enter, or you can enter on the 21R once that candle closes, to try to get like an earlier entry. And as you can see, even if we just target 10 points, say I get a fill at 321, which is a little bit above the close of this candle, the high over here is at 332.75, so we'd be able to get our 10 points pretty quickly. But I noticed that, and that happened like around 5:30, so obviously it's a little too late to kind of enter based off this zone. So what you can do is kind of just wait for the 144 candle to close to the upside. If it does close to the upside, then just go long. But in this case, it ended up closing to the downside. So we can see here, we can see this 144 candle is the same candle that touched this zone right here. So as you can see right here on the 34, this is that same candle. All this price action was occurring in this down close candle. Obviously at the time it was not a down close candle, but I was waiting for it to be an up close candle so I could go long. It did not happen. It ended up being a down close candle. So that kind of led me to being like, okay, maybe I should look for more shorts. Excuse me. But also at the same time, on the 233, we can see that we are in that retracement zone area. Oh, excuse me, wrong one. The 233R, we were in that retracement zone area. So if we look at the 55, let me just switch to the 55. Let's see. I'm just trying to retrace my steps here. And that wasn't this one. Okay, so it was not this retracement area, but this retracement area. So on this candle, we retrace back into that area. And you can see that at first, we have this high form. Then we have this low down here with the red dots. And we get that tiny high and the tiny low. So we can just ignore this box. And we have that tiny high and the tiny low formed. So this is the zone that we look for a push back to the downside for. But as you can see, it doesn't really happen. the 55 candle kind of has a down close candle, but towards the top of the zone, and it wicks above the high and above this tiny high. But if you were to do an early entry onto the 34R, then this would have been a loss opportunity. Like, it would have been a hit your stop loss. Because there's a few down close candles on the 34R that did occur. Excuse me. So I saw that and I was like, okay, interesting. We had the model play out, not to the T, but there was only like maybe one component missing, which is a fairly big component. It just shows that it's going to continue to the downside, but excuse me, but it never occurred. So, like, I've noticed that you could definitely go short here and just have a stop loss above the candle high, because I would say typically it does work pretty well, typically. But since we did break that new high, we have a new high formed and a new low formed as well. But keep in mind, this area on the 34R still had the model set up. So I'm just going to redraw it real quick. Right here. So this is the 34 model setup. So on the 34R and the 144R, we're looking bullish. But on the 233R and the 55R, we're looking bearish. So it's kind of contradicting itself. So when that tends to be the scenario, I tend to kind of prefer going with the higher time frames. So in this case, I would go with the 55 and the 233R. So, I still wait for a tiny high, tiny low to be formed. Nothing happens. And, we're a couple minutes before market open. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I am definitely a little bit more short biased. Just because we haven't really pushed too much off this 34 level. Like, yeah, we do have a push. Actually, that's not the 34 level. 34 level is actually right here. That's why I was like, I don't remember having that much of a push off the 34 level. So this is the 34 level that we're actually looking at. As you can see, there's not really much of a push to the upside. Whenever we draw these zones, we don't really want to see consolidation. Consolidation means, we may be wrong. So try to hop out of that. Excuse me. So yeah, I have in my mind, I'm a little bit more short biased. I honestly don't want to see this high be broken. If this high is broken, then my short bias will be kind of gone, because it'll just kind of ruin my model. But the 144 and the 34R play would still be good. So I would shift my bias to long, but I would just have to be mindful, since we kind of are in that supply area. And as you can see, we do end up getting another opportunity on the 55R for that tiny high and that tiny low. We can see that this low and this high up here, they did not break. So what do we do now? We kind of just wait for retracement back into this zone area. We get that retracement here. I believe I could have had an early entry. Yeah, I could have had an early entry right about here, because there was a 34R that did close. But since we had that previous incident right here where the 34R did close on the lower time frame, but on the actual time frame we're looking at, there was no candle close, I was a little bit hesitant, and I just didn't enter the trade yet. So I was just waiting for the 55R candle to close, and you can see we do push up, but then we do close. So I take a nice little entry there. My stop is just above this high. I targeting 10 points, and you can see I do get stopped out at break even. I'm going to remove this. Oops, remove. I do get stopped out at break even. Unfortunately, the price literally just went to my stop loss and then continued trading to downside. it's okay, it's fine. The market does what it wants to do. But I was definitely more short biased than, where was it? Down here at, I would say at this level, we get that 144 candle close. So now I'm thinking 144 candle closed with some decent deltas to the downside. Let me try to look for a short entry somewhere. So I'm looking for that short entry, and I didn't really see anything until right here. And the reason why I entered where I entered is because if I go into the 34, where is it? Right here. The reason why I entered is because on the 144, this is just the fib levels for the 144. We were able to touch a 25% level. And also we were coming off another, this was either a high volume node or a low volume node. I cannot remember. But I knew that if I saw some sort of reaction here, then, definitely could have gone in for shorts. That we get that reaction. So I enter kind of down here once we were about to close past this tiny high. Price goes down maybe like 7 points or so. But then I have my stop loss at break even. So I get stopped out again. And not to mention, we are at a pretty significant low volume node as well. So I knew that, I should wait for the first touch, then have a bounce up, then kind of see what price should do. It's just about just waiting. Don't enter too quickly. And I got stopped out of break even here, but then I did re-enter as we kind of were breaking this fair value gap, because I just saw that the strength wasn't there. It was definitely a little bit more on the weaker side, for sure. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to enter right here again. Entered here, stop loss up here. And also another reason why I entered is because since we have this tiny zone right here, we kind of rejected this area. And price just wanted to keep going down. And also on this low volume node, we already had 1, 2, 3 touches. And on the third touch, we kind of go back into this zone, but we reject that price. And we already broke that low volume node area here. So to me, it just signifies, market's weak. I don't see much strength. So I re-entered here with my stop above this high. And then, price was here. I was tempted to close early or to move my stop loss to here, right above this red candle high, which I think I kind of do. But then as you can see, price does end up going down and hits my target. And, it just keeps on going down, 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 down. We do get a decent pushback up. And there was another opportunity to go short somewhere around here for a nice little quick 10 points. But obviously we don't take that. I'm fine just doing one trade a day or one win a day with however many break-even trades it is. So this is just the 3 trades I took for today. Nothing too complicated. Just keep watching on what the market does and just don't overthink it. Just stay calm. Even if you are wrong, you still just got to keep those emotions in check. Those are the trades I took. Don't overtrade, stay humble, and peace.